That just happened in under 5 seconds. Form to Slack. Scored, personalized, free tier. I built this in n8n. I will show you how. So to make this automation, we will be using n8n cloud trial, or you can also self-host. I have linked a self-host video below in the description as well if you want to learn how to self-host it. And then I will be using apollo.io free account that will give you 10,000 enrichments per month. And then we will be using OpenAI API key and a Slack workspace. Free workspace is fine. All of this run on free tiers. The whole workflow cost pennies. These are the 5 stages we are building. As you can see on this diagram, we will ingest the data that will be received from the form. We will enrich it by using apollo.io. Then we will evaluate using OpenAI model. We will route it and deliver to Slack. So 5 nodes, each does one thing. That's the whole architecture. So let's begin. First of all, let's go to the n8n and let's create a new workflow. And here I will click on add first step and let's search for the webhook node. And the HTTP method will be post, and the path I will name it new lead, and response will be immediately, and I will just rename it to ingest new lead. Let's click on this listen for the test events, and this is a live URL now that we can use to send the post requests. Now let's first quickly test if this endpoint is working. I will run a curl command in terminal. This is the webhook URL that we got from n8n, and this is the payload we are sending. First name Patrick, last name Collision, email is patrick@stripe.com, company Stripe. Let's hit enter and go back to the browser, and in the n8n you see that we just received the payload on this webhook. On the right side you can see in the table, or you can also convert it into the JSON. Here, this is the payload that we sent from the terminal. So that's the only entry point. Any form on planet can post here, like Webflow, WordPress, or custom React form, type form, or anything. Now let's implement the next stage, that is adding Apollo enrichment. So for that, let's add another node, that is HTTP request. Select that. In the URL, I will paste this endpoint URL, that is api.apollo.io/v1/organizations/enrich, and method will stay get. And now we need to add the query parameter. So first enable that option, and then we will add the first query parameter, domain. That is the only parameter that we will be sending, and in the value we have to enable the expression here and add this expression. So here we are just getting the JSON that we received from the previous stage of this automation, and we are getting the body property, that is the object, and then we are accessing the email from that object, and then we are extracting the domain from the email that was submitted. So let me show you from the JSON here. So you see this body is coming from this object, and then within that body object we have the email property, and then we are splitting from @character. This is how we got the domain name. As now we have the domain name, next we need to add the API key through headers. In the authentication drop-down menu, select the generic credential type. Here we will have the option to add header. So this is the secure way to add the credentials. So now we need to select the generic auth type. We will select the header auth. In the header auth, we just need to set up the credential. So in this way, we will be able to save the API key in a secure way, so that whenever you export the JSON of your workflow, your API keys will not be exposed. I will just name it x-api-key, and here you can name it Apollo API key header. Go to the developer.apollo.io and hit the create new key and give it any name. I will just name it test, and the API key is created. Copy that and paste that API key here. Hit the save button, and the API key through header is created. Now we can securely use it, and it is already selected here, you see. And now let me rename this node to Enrich company data, and we can also mention Apollo API. Now let's quickly test if it is working. So we are already receiving the domain name from the previous stage. So just hit that execute step. And if everything is correct, then you will get this response. So you see that we got a detailed output in JSON format that has everything that we need. So that's mean API key is working perfect. Now let's move on to the next stage, that is scoring the lead through GPT. So for that, let me close this and let's add another node after this. And here I will search for the OpenAI, click on that and select the message or model action. Now we need to set up the credential. So click on that, set up credential. And here we need to add the API key from OpenAI. So let's go to the platform.openai.com and log into your account. And once you are logged in, click on the API keys and hit that create new secret key and select the project where you want to install it, where you want to create that key and name your key. I will just name it test for now. Copy the API key and go back to the n8n and paste your API key. And we need to test if everything is working. So just click on the save button. As you see, the connection tested successfully. That's mean the API key was correct. Now you can just close it and here you see that your new credential is now selected. That will be used in this node. And now in the model, we need to select the model. For this purpose, I will just use GPT-4o mini. That will be enough for us. And next we need to specify the response format. For that, if you scroll down, click on add option. Here we have the output format. Click on that. And from this, we just need to select the JSON object type. This node can also use Claude or Gemini. Just switch the credential. I'm using GPT-4o mini because it's fast and cheap, but the structure is identical. Okay, now we will add the system prompt. So let me open it in full screen and add this prompt where I'm saying, you are an expert revenue operations AI. Analyze the provided company data, output only a valid JSON object with exactly two keys, key score an integer from 1 to 10, where the 10 is a massive enterprise and 1 is tiny startup, based on employee count and revenue, and sales hook, a short personalized one sentence opening line a salesperson could use to email the lead, referencing their specific industry or company. So let's close it. Next, we need to add another message, and this time role will be user. And let me open it in a full screen. And first add this line, lead name, and this expression where we are referencing the webhook node and getting the data from it that were received from the form or curl command that we ran earlier. And we are just getting the first name. On the right side, you see the rendered data. And in the new line, we will provide the company data. We are referencing the previous node by using $JSON code that will give you access to the most recent stage execution data. And we are accessing the organization object from it and dumping it in it, as you see on the right side. Now just close it. That's enough. And now let's hit the execute step to test if it is working correctly or not. On the right side, you see we got the lead score 10 and sales hook is hi Patrick with Stripe's impressive reach in the fintech sector. I am excited to discuss how our solutions can optimize your payment processing even further. So this looks perfect. It's working. Now let's move on to the stage 4. So that is a conditional gate where we will decide we need to consider that lead or not. So for that, click on this button and search for the if node, select that, and in the value, select the expression, and let's get the data from the previous node JSON output. And we are extracting the lead score that AI gave us, that is 10 in this case. The type number, and here we will use is greater than or equal to in the value to input 7. And let's rename this node to lead score is greater than or equal to 7. This is the part everyone misses. OpenAI returns deeply nested structure with the lead score, not just the lead score. So adding a code node to flatten works, but it's slower. So just use the full path like this and just execute this step. as it is executed, we got the data on the right side. So here you see this data is appeared under the true branch, not the false branch. So that's when it is passing the condition. So you can also see the truth highlighted here. We need to implement the final stage, that is the Slack alert with the AI hook that we received. So let's add another node here with the name Slack. Click on that, and here I will select send message. And as we are doing this first time, so we need to set up the credential. For that, you can set up manually, or you can just click on the connect to Slack. So this is easier. So just click on that, and it will take you on this authorization page where you have to allow it. First, you need to make sure that the correct workspace is selected. So I already have selected the correct workspace and hit the allow button. And now we have authorized, the credential is added, and this can be reused as well in other workflows. Now keep the resource message selected, operation send is fine, and send message to, we need to select the channel, and we need to find the channel that we want to use. Click on this and it will fetch the available channels from your existing Slack workspace. And if I show you my Slack, we have several channels, but I want to use the alerts channel here. So let's select that, and here I will select simple text message where I can paste the markdown as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. Select the expression and let's open it in the full screen. And I will add this markdown here. Again, we have to fix the name of the webhook node, that is ingest. Select from the suggestion, and same for this one as well, ingest. Let me just copy paste here as well. All right. Now I have prepared this markdown that will be sent to Slack, and it will be properly rendered there. So as we are done, let's close it. And let me rename it to high priority Slack alert. And now let's quickly test it and hit the execute step. And it is done. Let's go back to the Slack, and the message should be received by now. And yes, the message has arrived. You see that it is beautifully rendered here. It is proper markdown that was rendered, and we got new hot lead detected with the name Patrick Collision, and company name is Stripe, and AL lead score is 10 out of 10, and the suggested sales hook is, "Hi Patrick, with Stripe's impressive reach in the fintech sector, I'm excited to discuss how our solutions can optimize your payment processing even further." So anyone can now copy this message and start the conversation with that lead. Now, just to give you a feel of real life workflow, I just made this form that you might have on your website or landing page somewhere. A lead will come here and fill the form, hit the submit button. So let me start the webhook. It is now in the listening mode right now, listening for it. So let me quickly hit the submit button. It is sending, it is sent. Now you see that the workflow is triggered already, and a new message is sent here. Okay. And now let me quickly change something here. I will change from Stripe to XYZ or hello world, something like that. Hit the submit request. So as we changed the email and the company name, this time the hook message will be different than before. So let's hit submit that. We have to restart the workflow. We did not publish it yet, that's why we have to restart it every time. But once it is published, we can just keep using it. So just hit the submit request button and it is sent. The workflow is triggered again. AI gave it a score. And this time we didn't receive any message on Slack. Look at this. This time score was less than 7. That's why it just ended up at false branch and didn't go to the true branch. That's why if you go to the Slack, no new message is received. So you will not be bothered with the unnecessary messages. You will be notified and alerted only if this message important enough to be addressed. So that's it I wanted to show you in this video. And if you want to copy this workflow, the JSON is provided in the article version in my blog. The link is already provided in the description. And if you would rather have this built and tuned for your specific CRM and form The service is on ayyaz.dev. Link is provided below. Please subscribe for more such videos and like and share this video. If you have any questions or any suggestions or feedback, then please leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.